All right, so thank you for joining today. I think most of you guys probably know me by now from a bunch of these. My name is Bruce Cullen. I am the Director of Products here at Cookdown, and today I'm really excited to tell you a bit more about our PowerShell SDK for our EasyTune Pro products. We're going to go pretty deep into the SDK. There's tons that it does. We're going to touch on a few specific use cases today and show you how this thing works with hopefully a live demo. I'm sort of regretting the live factor here because PowerShell, what could go wrong? Everything with an SDK. If you get the command that's wrong or fat finger something, but that's the intention for today. Let's start with a really brief overview of what is EasyTune, in case there's anyone listening, watching who doesn't know. At a really high level, it is all about solving SCOM's alert tuning, which anyone who's done this for real knows is a bit of a pain. So EasyTune will let you tune an entire management pack in a few clicks, unlike kind of conventional SCOM tuning, which is sort of 10 clicks per workflow times 1,000 workflows in a management pack. It can be obviously very time consuming. EasyTune lets you do it in a few clicks. It also will show you when what you had plans to set up as far as overrides are concerned are not what are in effect. So in other words, where there's drift from your planned effective overrides. You can tune your overrides from what are called tuning packs, which are in fact spreadsheets. That's a really important point because rather than your tuning being stored in some weird format, because it's just spreadsheets, you can just email them around to domain experts who know the area of the technology that you're tuning to get them to kind of help you with anything that's required and say what they want monitored, basically. Also, there are community curated best practices in the form of tuning packs baked into the product in the form of our community store. I don't want to go too much into all of the ins and outs of EasyTune today because we're going deep into the SDK. I'll just do one slide on how it works, then we'll dig into the SDK. So it all starts with EasyTune, which is a management pack that you import into SCOM. It consumes these tuning packs, these CSV files, which are contributed to between the SCOM administrator and domain experts to figure out what wants to be tuned and what the domain experts want that tuned to. Also, as I mentioned earlier, community curated best practices form the tuning packs that make up the product, and they're contributed to by experts from the community. And the result is overrides stored in sensibly named management packs in SCOM. So there we go. That's the 2-second version of how it works. As I say, there are webinars and videos on our YouTube channel and on our website that detail everything that EasyTune does. So that's why I'll leave that. And now we go into the PowerShell deep dark tunnel of fun where there's commandlets and all kinds of fun. So at a really high level, what can you do with the PowerShell SDK for EasyTune? Well, in a nutshell, basically anything you can do from the UI, you can do with the SDK. It's very powerful. What does that mean in reality? It means you can create tuning packs. It means you can set tuning up at a global level, a group level, or for a specific object. You can also remove tuning from any one of those objects. You can capture the effective tuning, regardless of whether it was set up with EasyTune or not, by capturing it from a group or from an object. You can export the list of workflows that target a class. So in other words, show me what's possible to be tuned for this class. Quite useful when you're planning your tuning out and planning to create your tuning packs here. You can see your config drift. So in other words, I set up globally the discovery only level for this management, for this tuning pack. Is this what's in effect? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it will be shown to you by the SDK. Quite useful. And you can set and change the local store for where the SDK is picking up tuning packs from. Quite useful for kind of automation scenarios. So taking a step back from this list, this is obviously just a bulleted list of stuff, and there's a kind of so what factor about this. Like, how would you actually use this? What's a practical application? So rather than just looking at specific commandlets today, we're going to look at use cases for the SDK. And the first one we're going to look at is in onboarding new monitoring into SCOM. So what we want to do is import a new management pack into SCOM that's going to monitor a new technology. We're then going to globally turn off everything that isn't a discovery. This is a really useful thing to do because in reality, when you're onboarding new monitoring, if you turn everything on by default, the people consuming that monitoring they're going to get emailed with everything that's monitored. And if there are sort of technical gremlins in there, let's say you've got run as account permissions, so not everything's on in there, or you haven't had a chance to discuss all of the tuning with all of the groups consuming it, they might be just flooded with too many alerts to be able to handle it. So this is perfect for just get the technology gremlins out of the way first, make sure you can discover all of the objects. That gives you time to work on number 3, work with the teams that will be consuming that monitoring, figure out what they actually want, and then you can turn on monitoring on a specific group by group basis, so based on the outcomes of number 3. That's what we're going to do. How are we going to do that with EasyTune and with the PowerShell SDK? So we're going to start off by importing our management pack using the SCOM SDK, regular SCOM SDK. We're going to generate a new tuning pack based on that management pack, and then we're going to globally set the discovery only level. So in other words, turn off everything that is not a discovery. 3 and 4 can then happen in their own time without those teams being bombarded with alerts they hadn't signed up for. And the largest part here is just getting buy-in from teams. It's never the tools that cause the problems, it's the people, right? So this is actually a real use case from a real customer, a real company. This is actually the story behind EasyTune, the product. This picture here is of Nathan Foreman, our Cookdown solutions architect. So Nathan worked in a prior life at a company called CH Robinson. They're a global shipping company, and this is the activity list. This is exactly what he used to do when he was onboarding new teams and new monitoring into SCOM. He'd pull in the MP, he would turn off everything, and he would work with teams to turn stuff on. He actually wrote EasyTune. He wrote it in PowerShell form initially to use at CH Robinson, something that was EasyTune-esque. And that's the background story to EasyTune as a product. So we're going to do this with the EasyTune, the product, and with the PowerShell SDK for it. So without further ado, let's crack on with it. I'm going to go to my demo box now, and I'm going to go to my PowerShell SDK. So I'm going to run these steps here, and I'm going to talk through them hopefully as they run. So that's better. We're going to start by importing our new management pack. This is the BizTalk management pack for BizTalk 2013. And as soon as it's imported, we are going to capture the management pack itself in a variable in PowerShell, and we're going to provide the -name switch to do that. This is a standard SCOM commandlet, not an EasyTune Pro one, as is this next one, where we capture the management group itself as an object in PowerShell. And then we're going to use those two variables with an EasyTune Pro commandlet to do some tuning. We're going to tune, we're going to create a new tuning pack. We're going to do it from management. We're going to do it from management group SCOM 12. We're going to use our variable of BizTalk MP as the management pack. And then we're going to use the provide the name of the tuning pack and descriptions. So that will create my tuning pack, where they're going to tune from this tuning pack by putting the tuning pack itself into a variable. And we're going to do that by basically searching on the name of the thing. And then finally, we're going to do some new global tuning, and we're going to tune from this tuning pack that's in the variable at the level discovery only. There we go. Perfect. So those scripts have run. I see no red. Hopefully we're good. I'm going to go to the SCOM console now. I'm going to refresh the SCOM console. We're looking at the EasyTune Management Pack UI. Let's refresh. Oh, it's doing it already. And what we should see is the tuning pack we created for the management pack we imported, and we're going to see globally that, hooray, the discovery only level is set. So that's worked perfectly. So basically we've imported a new management pack and we've tuned the global level. And I'm going to go back to slides quickly. There we go. And we're going to move on to another use case. So now we're going to talk about SCOM 2019, in particular upgrading to it in a side-by-side fashion. So this one is very sort of front of mind for quite a few companies right now, as everyone's moving to SCOM 2019. Quite a lot of companies are still on SCOM 2012 R2 because it's worked quite nicely. It's been chugging along in the background for years and years. And now these companies are seeing they need to upgrade. 2012 R2 is coming to end of life. Folk are realizing, okay, I can't simply in-place upgrade from 2012 R2. I've either got to do a multi-hop upgrade and go via like 2016 or 1801, 1807, which sounds great until you realize that the underlying architecture requires upgrading too. So the version of Windows that SCOM runs on, the version of SQL, etc. It just becomes too much pain to do. So where does that leave you? In-place upgrade is not on the table anymore. You're left with side-by-side upgrades. So basically this is where you stand up an entirely new SCOM 2019 deployment alongside your existing SCOM 2012 R2 deployment. The first thing you're going to need to migrate, apart from your management packs and your runners accounts, is some of your tuning. So the tuning in particular that you're happy with. So in our SCOM 2012 group here, management group, I have 4 groups set up and I've got objects distributed among those groups. Like this, there might be some objects spanning multiple groups. And to make things a bit more fun, we've applied some object-specific tuning to this object D here, which is great. Obviously, it's not particularly good practice, but it happens, especially when you've had a SCOM group that's been running for as long as this one has. So, good times. We've got to try and capture some of this and move it to 2019. In reality, we're probably not going to want to migrate this in its entirety because some of these groups you might not want the tuning from. You might want to use the object tuning for a group or something to that effect. So for this demo, I'm going to capture the effective tuning from SCOM groups 1 and 3 and from specific object D. So just these things here. And we're going to migrate just that tuning across to 2019. We're going to apply the group tuning from old group 1 and old group 3 to new group 1 and new group 3, like this. We're going to use the tuning from specific object D and apply that tuning to a new group called new group 2. And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to ditch the rest. Taking a step back from the scenario for a second, when we're talking about this in sort of PowerShell terms with EasyTune and EasyTune Pro, what this really means is we're going to capture a bunch of tuning packs from 2 groups, groups 1 and group 3. We're going to capture tuning from a specific object and capture that as a tuning pack. And then we're going to tune our new SCOM group from these tuning packs we've captured. And that's what we're going to do. This is the demo that I thought was going to be the one that was going to cause me some grief because there's more moving parts here, 2 management servers and such. But it's demo time. Let's see what happens. So, to get us going here, we're going to go into PowerShell. We've got SCOM 12 and SCOM 19 here. And this is the script I'm going to run. I just need to change directory into the SDK directory so that my EasyTune SDK import works. Obviously it is already imported, but it will just straight up fail and I can't just hit run otherwise. So we're going to import the SDK. We're going to define a variable called SCOM 12 and we're going to pass using standard SCOM commandlet the SCOM 12 group into it. We are then going to define a variable for the object we want to capture tuning from. In my slides, this was called object D. In my lab, this is called InfraSQL02. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to then export the tuning from this object, and we're going to provide the SCOM group that we passed into SCOM_12 the object that we passed into my Win server, which is what this guy is. And we're going to give this tuning pack a name and a description. Then we're going to do exactly the same, but with a group. This one is group 1 and this one is group 3. Exactly the same idea. We're going to get the SCOM groups themselves, pass them into variables, and then export their tuning into tuning packs. And that's what we're going to do. So I've got a bunch of output here. So this is hopefully good news for success. We're then going to import this stuff into SCOM 2019. So if I go to my SCOM 2012 management group and hit refresh on the console, if demos are going to play ball for me, what we'll see is 3 new tuning packs. So this number will jump from 6 to 9. If I can count, yes I can, good. So we've got tuning packs for group 1, group 3, and for our specific object. So in each of these groups you see 3 levels. We've got our discovery only level and our MP default level. We've also got custom. Custom is where the effective tuning we captured will live. So that's captured the tuning. I'm now going to go to SCOM 2019 running in this tab and run this script here. Yes, it will be saved. Thank you. So same deal here. We're going to import the PowerShell modules. We're going to define SCOM 2019 as a variable, the management group itself. We're going to get the tuning packs into variables, group 1, the tuning pack for the specific object, and group 3. And then we're going to apply them to groups as needed. So the first one that we're defining as group 1 is actually going to be a group called All Microsoft Azure Monitored Resources. This is simply because I ran out of time to go and create a group called Group 1 in my SCOM 2019 management server before today's webinar. But this will work just the same. It's a group from SCOM just like any other. So I'm going to define this as a variable, $group1, where they're going to tune that group 1, new-group tuning. This is an easy tune commandlet. We're passing in the correct management group, SCOM 19, and the tuning pack, this tuning pack from up here. We're providing the group itself, group 1 from here, and then we're telling it with the string we want the level custom. As a general rule of thumb, most things with the EasyTune SDK require objects be passed in rather than strings. The level is one exception. So here, the override level, I've just written the word custom rather than got the level in a variable. The management group and tuning pack I've defined as variables. The other thing that's really important to know about this particular demo is SCOM 2019 and SCOM 2012 R2 are both pointed at the same local store, which is why it's so seamless. I've cheated and my local store is actually on this demo box I'm on locally. In the real world, you would put it on a UNC path somewhere and put it behind some permissions so that not anyone can just stick up a CSV, and that's what's happening in the background. So this will take a while to run. There's quite a lot of tuning here. From memory, group 1 is a bunch of SQL version agnostic tuning. Group 3 is a bunch of Linux, Unix tuning. And group 2, which is the group for my tune for my specific object, is a bag of bits basically. Some of it's come from groups, some of it's object specific tuning from my old management server. We're going to dig into the tuning packs in a second if we get time at the end and look at what exactly was in there, because that's an important part of this process. Because obviously in reality, this is a great demo. In the real world, you would capture the tuning packs, you would pick over what's in them first, and you'll see why when we actually look at them. If this takes much longer to look at, I'm going to actually pop open one now and start that process. I'm going to do it. So what we're going to look at here is this tuning pack. This is the tuning pack from the specific object from our old SCOM 2012 management group. I'm going to open this guy in Excel. Open with Excel. All right, so This is standard tuning pack format that you're probably used to seeing. So we've got all of the management pack details. We've got all of the workflows here that have tuning applied to them from these management packs. We've got all the usual stuff. The custom column here is the captured effective tuning from my infra_equal02 object. In override source, you can see where this tuning was originally stored, and you'll find all sorts of fun in here. So this is a specific object we're looking at, so including anything where that tuning's coming from a group. So we've got loads of SQL Server 2016 stuff. We also have some other mystery pieces at the bottom from other places. So clearly in some previous demo, I'd stuck some tuning in a random management pack called BC Physical Disks Overrides, and it's been captured here as well. This may be desired, you may want this, but you may not want this. But the fact you can see this is a damn good starter, because you can start to question why it's there, what it does, and do I want it, which makes this process a lot easier. I'm going to go back to PowerShell now and see how we're doing. In theory, we're done. So if I go to the SCOM console in 2019, so we're on SCOM_19 now, and refresh, what I should see is my tuning packs and some tuning from those tuning packs. So let's see. So we've got our tuning packs in here. I haven't got any specific tuning. This is the thing I was having a problem with earlier. And the issue was basically SCOM was taking a while to churn in the background. So it was taking a while to pick up the fact that that tuning was in effect. Let's have a look in our management pack list and see if we've got management packs here for our group tuning. Yes, we do. So EasyTune will create a management pack by default for the tuning. And if I go on the properties of this and go to the knowledge tab, we'll see what's actually in here. So I can see this was created by me today. I can see what's in it. From the name, or from the general tab even, I can see the target. So I can see it was the tuning I set up. It's targeting this group. And I can see the level was custom. So I can see it has worked. I can't yet see it in EasyTune as SCOM is still churning. It's just applied a whole load of workflows. I'm going to try one more refresh and hope that it's come in so I can show you what this will look like in the UI. But if not, you'll have to take my word from it based on the fact those management packs are there. Okay, cool. It's starting to come in. So we've got, here we go. Here's the tuning from our Group 3 tuning pack applied to our Client Monitoring Data Group, and a Group 1 tuning pack applied to our All Microsoft Azure Monitor Resources group. This one's still to come in. I'm guessing it's still churning in the background, but you get the idea. You can quite easily with EasyTune Pro capture your effective tuning from wherever the hell it lives to push through into a SCOM management group of your choosing. It's great for capturing effective tuning from wherever it lives and applying it to new SCOM management groups, but also those cases where you've got two groups and you like the tuning of group 1 and you want that same tuning for group 2. And with the PowerShell SDK, you can automate all this stuff and make it a whole lot easier. Good. I'm really happy my live demos work. They're always a bit fun. So the only thing left to say is go and get your license now for EasyTune if you haven't got it already. What I've been showing to you today is functionality from both the free and the pro versions. EasyTune Free is at this URL. EasyTune Pro, we now do free 30-day trials of EasyTune Pro. So if you want to go and have a play, go to this URL and go get EasyTune Pro. Pro includes the PowerShell SDK, free does not. Pro includes the ability to capture effective monitoring, free does not. So there's a load of good reasons to check out Pro, and there it is. So all that's left to say is make your tuning dreams reality with EasyTune and the PowerShell SDK. I had lots of fun writing this slide. So thank you everyone for listening. So unless there are any questions at the end, thank you very much, and until next time, thank you from us here at Cookdown.